Timer complete.
Hello everyone and welcome to my new office. Thank you very much for joining us with LudoScience. This is the second outing of LudoScience, our first board game remake of MB Games' Mystery Date, which we titled Are We Going Out or What? being the success that it was, I owed it to myself to throw myself back into the ring and recreate another classic peace-moving odyssey from our ruined childhood. Hello everyone, hello Moore, hello Ed, hello Mighty Fighty, hello A Good Pete, hello Red. I'm hearing that slabs aren't apes, duvets aren't apes. Was that the right pronunciation of the board game name? What, are we going out or what? I'm pretty confident that... pretty confident I got it right. During the pre-stream, people have been talking about whether Ludo, the character that exists within... Hello, Oracle of Tooth. Hello, Oracle of Tooth. Glad to hear you're tussing us. Because a bloke on the tube said to me last week, people say you're just not tough enough. Here is a picture of Ludo as he appears in Labyrinth, if anyone wants to weigh in on whether we think that is an ape, or as many seem to believe, a kind of cow. To me, it's not clear at all. I believe that is Tom Little in there, but I don't know if that affects whether or not it's an ape or a cow. Did I see the Ed Miliband Green Day tweet? Yes, absolutely. It looks like the government's policy on their Green Day is that they want to be woken up when September ends. That is someone who is absolutely tough enough. And did you know he once actually said no to Obama, the leader of the free world? Can we get a better Ludo photo? You're not going to find a better Ludo photo than this one. This is the definitive Ludo. It's Ludo revealing the man within. If you'd like another Ludo, there's another Ludo coming in. Ludo inbound. Here's Tudo. If you'd like another Ludo, here is an even more canonical Ludo inbound. Here's your precious Ludo. What more can I give? You kids, you take and take. What more can I give than this? Here is your Ludo. I don't think that's an ape. I don't even think it's a thing. Now this is gaming, 100%. This is high score, this is platinum, this is 100%ing. That's a troll? Do you think so? It seems nice to me. Okay, I do not know what the Ludo discourse is in aid of. Today, we are here to discuss board games. Now, before we spin the randomizer to find out what board game we will be putting under the surgeon's knife this evening, I'd like to hear from you. What board game do you hope will appear? What board game are you rooting for? What board game would you personally love to see? And you should check. You should make sure that you add it to the randomizer. If you are a subscriber, !, add... Presumably board game? Presumably board game? Add board game? Read board game. What have we got? Okay, it is board game. Okay, we've just got 2 full printouts of board game. Currently in the board game list is Bagatelle, 9 Men's Morris. I'll just raise the music for this. Currently we have Bagatelle, 9 Men's Morris. Why are we starting with those? Monopoly, Betrayal, Mousetrap, Azul, Hugos das Schlosskippenz, Mousetrap, Screwball, Scramble, Senate, Cluedo, Hungry Hippos, All-Star Family Fortunes, Calla, Monopoly, Buckaroo, Pandemic, Don't Wake Daddy, Cluedo Sound Effects, Buckaroo, Cluedo again, The Royal Game of Pop-Up Pirate, Secret Hitler, Cockfighting Frustration, Pop-Up Pirate again, Risk, Sorry, Wari, Articulate, Ludo, Taboo, Snakes and Ladders, Russian Roulette, Candyland, Scrabble, Mancala, Boggle, Pass the Pigs, Risk, Jaws the Board Game, Bop It, Settlers of Catan, The Amiga Virus, Smell My Finger, Cards Against Humanity, Exploding Kittens, Battleship, Backgammon, Countdown, Greco-Roman Wrestling, don't think that's a board game, The Game of the Goose, The Wheel, the board game, Tiddlywinks, Happy Families, Golden Balls, Betrayal, Queen's Gambit, the board game, Pictionary, Go, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Take Me Out, the board game, Snakes and Ladders, Seen It, the OC edition, The Chase, the board game, The Chase, the board game, just again, Monopoly, Socialism, Queen's Gambit board game again, Dream Phone, which is basically Mystery Date, Pentago, Scrabble again, Crib Golf, The Muppet Game Show, Survive, The Game of the Tropics, Fishing Frenzy, and Sliders. Okay, that's all the board games that are currently randomizer, but I see now you have populated the list with many, many more, including, sorry, again, Pacifist Battleships, Midsummer Murders Cluedo, Dizzy Dizzy Dinosaur, Strictly Come Dancing the Game, Not At All Hungry Hippos, Electronic Mall Madness, Puss Puss. My mom swears it's a real game she played as a child. Well, I hope there's some external information about it, otherwise we will need to get your mom on the blower. Shark Attack, Monopoly, Her Majesty the Queen Top Trumps, Totopoly, board game, Hungry Hungry Hippos, again, Subutio, Mouse Trap and Release. Okay, I think that's plenty. Are people satisfied that we now have the full gamut of the board game medium? Do you think we're ready to give it a little spin? Mystery Date Catfished. This is a real game. Okay, but we have done Mystery Date. I think that's everyone. I think that is pretty much everyone. I know you've missed out on some of the Opolis though, because I know that there is Bibleopoly. I know that there is Pugopoly. I know that there's Dogopoly. Poker, yeah, strong. Not Jenga, okay. Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. That sounds fake. Do we have a rule? Has a rule been established that the board game has to be real? Monopoly for women? Oh, you've added a Monopoly, but that's fine. The Amiga virus, I think we already have that. Go for Broke. Metal Gear Solid Risk. I could believe that exists. Does it? Monopoly or women. Okay, it's quite confusing. The board game has to be real. Do we think the book? Can someone add a poll? Okay, poll. Poll. 3 minutes. Does the board game have to be real? 1 yes, 2 no. Vote 1 if you think we should only remake board games that exist, and vote 2 if you think we should remake board games that don't exist. Which I just don't think it's possible, because we wouldn't be remaking it, would we? We'd just be making it, because no one else has already made it. What has Mono said? Mono is saying, I think there has to be some kind of real base game if loose. I agree, but I need the agreement. I need everyone to agree, essentially. I will put yes in the chat myself, though. Sean Moore, here I go. Yes, there. In the meantime, what do you think of the new office? I've finally just got my own premises. It's a bit on the cheap side, but it's so spacious. I know it doesn't look spacious given my size, but I'm actually just very big. It is really, there's enough room to sit down at this desk and drink a can of Dr. Plan. There shouldn't be anyone at the window, Josie. We're 4 floors up, so probably no, it's probably a bird. We're very high up, so there won't be anyone out there. Could be a window cleaner, perhaps, but the windows have got smashed through in. That's why it's so cheap. Gulls have been dive bombing the place because this used to be a chips factory. Jumanji. Jumanji is a real board game. Did they ever make a real board game, Jumanji? I bet they did. Jumanji board game. When was the last time you hoovered? Not allowed to hoover. It's actually in the lease. If I plug anything in, they can kick me out. Yeah, they did. Board Game Geek has a review of Jumanji. They give it two stars, or a 4.5 out of 10. Gooey Louie, yeah. Gooey Louie's another pop-up pirate. Is Buckaroo not on here? Hang on. Add board game Buckaroo. We need Buckaroo on there. Buckaroo Banzai. Rick Owens' Paris apartment. Could have been one of the original leaseholders. I have been told this was a chip factory. That's why so many seagulls just flew straight through the window. And they can't be replaced because the seagulls will just go through again. It smells a lot like salt and fat, and the seagulls love it. They come in here and they lick it at night. So in the morning, the whole place looks like it's been lacquered, but it is just spittle. Okay, the board games do have to be real. Where's the board in Buckaroo? I think you place it on the donkey. Okay, the board games have to be real. So if a board game comes up, I will assess it for traces of reality. I don't mind how real they are. They're just a little bit real. Like Jumanji is at least a little bit real. Okay, what board game are we going to be remaking this time? Random board game, inbound. Worry. I don't know what that is. Oh, I should remove it as well. Remove board game Worry, and then we're going to learn what it is. I've never heard of it before. I'm guessing it's going to be an old board game from another continent. Hopefully, at least it will be simple. Simple enough for me to get my square head around. Okay. Do you know, if I want to show the desktop, I'm probably going to need to move some things. Probably going to need to shift. Oh, it's Mancala. Okay. Well, I'm going to need to remind myself how Mancala works. If I just go over here, I guess I just need to just gently nudge all my things away. Okay, great. What is worry? Maybe what we need. Maybe we need YouTube to explain it to us. Worry board game review. Okay, no one's ever talked about it here. Worry board game. Worry board game. Hello, Rosanna. Our second board game is Worry, which also just seems to be Mancala. Worry is a game from the Mancala family in which pieces are moved around the board by lifting and sewing, i.e. lifting all the pieces from one of the holes and dropping them singly in consecutive holes around a given route. Pieces are not marked as belonging to players. Instead, players own all the pieces on their own side of the board. In Worry, oh my god, okay. In Worry, there are 2 ranks. Who added Worry? Who added Worry? I just want to know when we struggle through this, who did this? Who's responsible for this? I am now going to learn Worry. And we're going to have to claim that I, as a man living in Europe, has remade and improved upon a game from West Africa, which is a very uncomfortable position to be in. Very culturally insensitive position to be in. Do you know, I just wanted to do a nice silly stream, and now here I am having to do this. Ooh, look at Pete's got an explainer coming in.
Africans brought much of their culture to the Americas, preserving elements of it despite their enslavers' concerted efforts to kill it. Across the continent, people play the game of sophisticated mathematical strategy called, in some places, Worry. It's still played today in the Caribbean. Jawara has brought his knowledge and skills to share with people in the U.S., making Worry boards and playing the game with people on the street in Harlem.
Yeah, I'll bring with you.
Worry is their game. Some Antiguans believe that there's no other people on earth that plays Worry. So my play now, I would click on here, 1, 1, 1. I've limited these options to 1. So when you fight in a war, always minimize your opponent's options.
I used to play when I was a child, yes, absolutely. But it's all over when you go to Africa, it's everybody in the street play. It's very common. Ah, you made it, yes, of course.
So it's a counting game.
Yes, it's a counting. So if I am smart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
No, but you can't. No, but you can't capture.
Ah, this is your
My
side.
side.
Oh, yes. 1, 2, 3. That's why everybody in Africa play this, because it's very
This too.
smart.
What if we don't claim to be improving upon the game, but we just reskin it? We reskin Worry to make like sci-fi Worry, or it just doesn't feel like it's my place really. It doesn't really feel like my place to take a game that's almost been eliminated off the earth by colonization of West Africa and then do anything. and then do anything with it. Or I do something just that's silly and gentle. I don't change the actual mechanics of it. I just give it this weird reskin. Kind of Mancala in Club Penguin. If Club Penguin can do it, I just don't want to be. I don't want to be diceying around with something that is part of the European imperial colonial legacy. I just want to have fun online. I'm re-rolling. I just want to have fun online. I don't want to be agonizing. I don't want to be agonizing over the last 200 years of history. Come on, let's go. And whoever put that in, I'm giving you negative feedback. Tiddlywinks. Whew. Oh, safe territory. Safe territory. Also, I should remove it. Random. Remove. Board game. Tiddlywinks. Now, Tiddlywinks. I got into Tiddlywinks one summer. I thought, what a silly game. And it is quite silly, but there's skill to it. Did you know? Okay, who here is familiar with Tiddlywinks? Hands up who's ever been a winker. That's what we call ourselves in the Tiddlywinks community. I've been a bit of a winker myself, actually. Okay, well, you need to... Tiddlywinks Explained. Tiddlywinks Championship. Tiddlywinks, there's more to it than you think, right? When you play it as a kid... Hands up here. I'm a winker, guilty. When you play it as a kid, you're playing a diluted version of what we call the beautiful game. Okay, plainly say you've winked, but have you really winked, okay? Have you played with championship rules? You know, this is the difference between playing Super Smash Bros. With the items on, just as a party game, or 3-stock 1v1, no items, right? And only the second thing is real winking. If you are a real winker and you believe you have really winked, can I please have IAARW in the chat for I am a real winker? Are you a winker? I'm a winker. Someone's a gatekeeper. Someone needs to protect the beautiful game, right? These Zoomers are coming in. And they don't know, they're just saying, oh, this is Tiddlywinks, that's Tiddlywinks. You know you're a Tiddlywinker when. And then they're just talking, they're making up their own rules as they go along. Let's get the Tiddlywink Championship on. Still going.
Ontdek de nieuwe Fleuriel Renew, zodat je kleding tot 3 keer langer meegaat. Nieuw Fleuriel Renew.
Sounds good. It's never too late for McDonald's.
COVID-19 has caused all the Tiddlywinks tournaments to be cancelled, postponed, and so only now picking up again. So this is the first World Challenge match for 3 years.
I'm so comfortable.
Harley and I went over to America and beat the top American pairs, Dave and Larry. Unfortunately, since then they became American pairs champions again, and so they have a challenge to us, and so they've come over here in Cambridge for this match. Tiddlywinks, definitely a sport because you've got the shooting a wink and playing a wink with accuracy, so you've got a physical element to it as well.
There's a big Simon Bird in the in-betweeners energy to this guy. And that's all I wanted to say.
Well as the intellectual element. The University of Cambridge started a Tiddlywinks club in 1955 to try and take it seriously. One of the rules they introduced was covering up an enemy counter. that effectively captures it. And
This is it. This is where it becomes strategy, right? You can affect the other players. It's not just like everyone's got their own little putting drive next to each other. You can if you get your wink on their wink, they can't move their wink, right? So you can fully lock someone down. You can absolutely destroy someone in a wink. And I think that competitive edge, right, the direction that Cambridge University have gone in is good, but it's not good enough. It's not StarCraft 2, right? You can't Zerg rush. I think we need to make winking way more like Fortnite.
so in real Winx, there's a lot of capturing and recapturing and freeing of enemy Winx and your own Winx rather than just flicking Winx into the pot. It then grew to be different universities played. It went over to America. And in the 70s, it decided there should be a world competition with the American champions playing the British champions. At the moment, that was a two-nation thing. And it became a bit like boxing or chess. You have a champion, and then you have...
Okay, I just want to put this out here now, right? This is made in 2022. So these absolute wink heads are talking about trying to popularize the game now, right? This is now. I do not think it is out of the realms of possibility we could get one of these guys on the stream to look at, because they're talking about how do we improve Tiddlywinks to improve the popularity of the game. That's where we come in. We need to come in and we go, we've heard your cry. We've heard your plea to the clouds, and I have descended. Put a gun in Tiddlywinks. What do you reckon? I think we can get that. I think they do want it improved, right? Listen to what he has to say. They added strategy to it. You can put your Winx on their Winx, and he thinks that's good. He's made the game better. Listen to him. Listen to this.
It then grew to be different universities played at the club in 1955 to try and take it seriously. One of the rules they introduced was covering up an enemy counter.
See, 1955 they added rules. They're not doing that with chess, are they? Chess is just one and done. That's not true. People are making new chess variants all the time, and eventually we will. But I think there's room. I think there's room to put a gun into Tiddlywinks. No, they will evaluate it. They don't want to go commercial, right? They're in Cambridge University, so they just want it to be the preserve of their, people like this guy in the back whose belt is up to his belly button. But they will evaluate the rules on whether they are strategically good. And I think they want to see more interest in it from any outside body. So I think we're in with a shot to get some attention from these guys.
Went over to America, and in the 70s, it decided there should be a world competition with the American champions playing the British champions. At the moment, that was a two-nation thing.
Exactly,
and it became
a
bit like boxing or chess. You have a champion, and then you have challengers. And to become a challenger, you have to become national champion of your country. So a lot of the strategy is trying to get the opponents to play difficult shots that you then hope you miss. They miss, and then you in return only play the easy shots to get back. However, they know I'm doing that, and they'll do the same to me. And so we'll have a particular battle, not always the person who gets all the trick shots right, but can get the medium difficulty shots right most often. And that may be sufficient.
Oh, change to the pop could be good.
Physical skill and
Thank you,
strategy.
indirect.
So it's like playing a game of chess, but you have to shoot your piece to where you want it to go. So it's a really good combination.
Do you know, I don't want you to think I'm mad because I get on board with this stuff. I think there is something inherently lame about Tiddlywinks, but the idea of doing it has some chess element because you're trying to stop the opponent, but it's also like golf. It's a bit like chess golf. I do fundamentally think it sucks, and one of the reasons that it sucks, the biggest reason that it sucks, is because it's just these tiny flipping little multicolored counters that you just do these tiny little shots with. That is the reason that people go out and golf is big, and this is people literally in socks and sandals stood in a rented university building, one room. He's in there not even wearing shoes. I think this game could be punched up though. I think maybe if there's good bones, the pot could be good. At the very least, the pot should make a very loud noise when the wink goes in. Akin to that kind of siren that goes off in an ice hockey match. Am I right about that? A little siren goes off when you score a puck point. The pot could explode, yeah?
Really, during a game, if you're playing against the good players, 95% of the time, everybody knows what the best shot is and what they're going to do next. And sometimes you'll surprise the opponents. If you can do a shot, they don't think you can do it. But you'll look at one or two moves ahead, but really, at the top level, kind of everybody knows what's going to happen next most of the time.
Just compiling Rosanna's links so we don't lose
Well, the
them.
swizzer is what you shoot the Winx with, and you put the Winx into the pot. You play on a mat.
The what? The what?
You shoot the Winx with, and you... Well, the swizzer is what you shoot.
The squidger. Okay. Oh yes, snooker, of course. Of course. Snooker is the obvious game to compare this with. Of course. I just forgot about snooker. Snooker is the game that is this but good. I mean, I've never played snooker, but I play pool, and pool is fun, and it's just coloured balls on a table. The rules of Tiddlywinks, fine, yeah, we need all of this. We need all of this. Load it up. Load it all up.
The Winx with, and you put the Winx into the pot. You play on a mat. There's different types of shots. There's a potting shot.
That's
Putting in
good.
the pot.
That's good indirect. I also wouldn't mind seeing snooker just done on a vibrating surface as well. Like, it raises the skill bar quite a lot. And the thing is about Tiddlywinks, right? It's one of those things where I bet it is dead hard. You know, I bet pinging a little light plastic disc a few inches accurately is quite hard. It's just not. There's no spectator. You know, I like talking seriously now. You know, we've had our laughs. We love to laugh. We love to have a joke, but small things can't become big sports because it's hard to see. So it can't become a spectator game. If it can't become a spectator game, no one really cares. Chess, you can visualize the chess pieces quite easily, and you can watch a chess game. Chess can be digitized and people can play chess, but to see this, you'd either need to stick a camera really in there and it won't even have a very good angle. Because you need to, I feel like you need to see various angles to even understand the depth of everything. It sucks. At least snooker, you could just film it from above. I guess you could do that here. I hate to laugh. Is that true? The rules are 11 A4 pages long. Yeah, make it big. Yeah, make it. Do you ever heard of Ultimate Frisbee? After this, we'll have to look up. There's someone trying to do with Frisbee.
Yours wink on somebody else's. Then there's types of squapping called Bristols and Gromps, and it's
Gromps
just
and
it goes
Bristols.
on and on.
Owned. Everyone's got their really cool squidges they got. This is sick.
I think it would be a tough match. The previous one in America went all the way, all 7 games, and there was only 1 point in it at the end, so it effectively did go to the final shot. If we play well, we want to make them work hard. They all think they're narrow favourites, but we're going to make them work, and hopefully we'll retain our title for Britain.
Well, it's just so small. Do you know, if all of these same actions were taking place over the space of 3 miles, right? If you scaled this up, so each thing was like the size of a door, that's gaming. You know, that's just We are Mr. Will McKay. We are here to remake. In fact, I'll update the stream information. Redesigning Tiddlywinks for the esports market. And I'll just update that in here. Edit command this stream. Hello and wow and welcome to LudoScience. We are discussing how to redesign Tiddlywinks for a world which contains esports. Now, I don't know how to prototype Tiddlywinks where each Tiddlywink is the size of a door, but I do think it's important. Do you know, we've already received some good suggestions and I'd like to get them logged. So I'm possibly going to make a Miro board for this already. And I'll name it Tiddlywinks, of all things. And I'll write down everything that sounds plausibly worth remembering. First of all, make Tiddlywinks bigger and more violent. Not for me, you know, it's not my sensibilities, but it, you know, I know the market, you see. I've lived in the world, unfortunately. I think we've got some good suggestions. Inverted said something that I liked, but I just wasn't writing things down at that time, and I've allowed myself to forget. Inverted, if you're still there, what were the two things he said? One was change the pot. There was something else I liked. Make it all vibrate. Do you know? I think we could broaden that and generalize that too. Just making some off-screen notes, and then we'll continue the video. Environmental obstacles, PvE, and PvP. That's what people want now. They want PvE and PvP. And I'm just going to write down Fortnite as well. Fortnite. Ponks is like Tannoy to Winx public address syndrome. Oh yeah, Ponks. I don't change the pot, vibrating surface. I think the pot should be. Do you know all these games? Football, basketball, rugby. We've got loads of games about getting an object to a place, but we never make the place interesting. I was just thinking about the ball. I think this is smart. Change the pot. I think the pot should ask you a general knowledge question, at the very least. Right, back in. Opium, I'll add opium to the list. Opium, question mark.
Oh, well, it's exhausting, the world competitions, because 7 games can take a long time. So it was about 6.5 hours, I think, we were playing.
Yeah, I'll put
something
edible
like that.
in there.
And it ended up going all the way to the last shot of each player. We ended up scraping through 25, 24, the smallest margin just about.
I'll put fire.
And it looked like halfway through the afternoon it was going to be a short, easy evening, because we'd played well in a couple of games, and then we'd stolen a big win against some other play. But then they came back really well. I mean, they're good players. They were.
Do you think that damage in the wall was done by a wink? Do you think someone's done that who's part of his club?
Always going to be a struggle to beat. We were sort of clinging on by our fingertips at the end, but we did it.
Okay. Let me check out these links. Let's just find out more about. This is Dr. Patrick Barry. His research interest is how molecules behave within porous solids, like bread, maybe. How do molecules behave in bread? I hope that comes up in the rules. Oh, jeez. Let me just open this on a different website. This my Chrome has a forced dark mode, which sometimes just inverts the colours in ways that are bad. Although this website sucks. Cambridge University Tiddlywinks Club contact form or Kutwuk. Please use the form below to send a message to the President Secretary and website maintainer. Please note, Cookbook is not a business. The few receipts of this contact form will not respond to advertising of any kind, including offers to promote Cookbook or this website. Any post of this form will merely waste your time and annoy everyone, making the world a slightly less pleasant place. You wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you? Yes, believe it or not, people try to spam a University Tiddlywinks club. I despair of the world sometimes. However, we're very pleased to be contacted by anyone who has a genuine interest in Tiddlywinks or the activities of Kutwook. Okay, I think we've got these guys' number. I think I understand the cut of these guys' jib. Okay, kind of guy, located and understood. Okay, here's the rules of Tiddlywinks. Likewise, we're going to have to go to Microsoft Edge, sadly. It's just a horrible website. Okay, so let's look at the... Oh, the rules haven't been updated since 2016. And sanctioned by the North American Tiddlywinks Association, International Federation of Tiddlywinks Associations. The rules are copyright. Why have you copyrighted the rules? Why would you copyright the rules of the game? Alright, I'm probably going to rinse this entire website, gain a full understanding. Tiddlywinks is a game for 2 to 4 people involving, let's just zoom in on this. Big, make big. Make big. Make it big. There we go. Oh, there's a simplified version of the rules. Yeah. This document is called the English Tiddlywinks Association's Rules 2016. The simplified document is called Patrick Dubry's Flips. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, the pot moves. I'm gonna broaden your suggestion to the pot moves and can move in all dimensions, including time. Tiddlywinks is a game for 2 to 4 people involving playing pieces of 4 different colours. When 4 people play, it's a partnership game with each person controlling one of the 4 colours. So when 2 people play, each person controls both colours of a partnership. Both player controls blue and red, while the other player controls green and yellow. This version of the game is called singles. Equipment: Winx, squidges, the mat and the pot. I think we know what those are. The squidge off takes place as follows. The pot is placed on the centre of the mat. The winks are placed behind the baseline so that each corner of the mat contains winks of only one colour. One wink of each colour is played behind the baseline towards the pot. The colour of the wink that ends up nearest the pot is deemed to have won the squidge off. Once the squidge off winner has been determined, the winks are replaced behind the baseline at the start of the game. Play proceeds with the colours having turns in sequence. The sequence should correspond to the alphabetical order of the colours in the English language. During the course of a game, the winks fall into the following categories.
Winner is this.
A wink is referred to as a potted wink if it goes in the pot. An unpotted wink may come to rest in position where it is vertically above all or part of another unpotted wink. In this situation, the upper wink is referred to as a squapping wink, and the lower wink is referred to as a squapped wink. And a wink that is neither potted nor squapped is referred to as a free wink. For a particular shot, a player must exert downward pressure of the squidger onto a free wink of the colour to be played. The squidger may subsequently hit those winks squapped by the first wink played, provided that the movement of the squidger is quick and continuous from the moment when the first wink moves. If a person pots one of the winks of colour being played in a particular shot, then the person gets an extra shot as part of the same... Okay, if you pot, you get into the Tights pool. If any wink is sent off the mat, then it is replaced on the mat at the position that it went off before the start of the next shot. If a person's shot causes one or more winks of the colour being played to go off the mat, then the next shot to be played and that colour is forfeited. If all 6 winks of one colour become potted, that colour is potted out. The game ends in 2 ways. A timed period followed by a round limit period. After a colour is potted out, followed by a short period which the other colours pot out. Then there are other rules about dimensions of equipment, definition of a legal shot, how the game is scored, what to do if the partnership has no free winks, what to do if a foul shot is played, etiquette rules, notes and guidance. I'm going straight to etiquette. Etiquette rules. I feel like whether or not it was invented in public school has it now. Got to go off to cinema to see bad film, have fun with winkers. What is the bad film you're going to see? If the player are unable to agree on any matter concerned with the play of the game or are in doubt as to the meaning or interpretation of any rule, they must, if possible, call a competent person to act as an umpire. If any player is doubtful whether a proposed shot will still be played legally, an umpire must be called before the shot is played. The umpire may advise on the likely legality of the shot. I like how the umpire's just making a guess themselves. This is what's likely going to be legal. This ain't invented at Cambridge Uni? Yeah, I think the formalisation of it into a boring guys game happened at Cambridge. We may as well, if we're going big wink, find out exactly where it came from. Tiddlywinks. Let's find out exactly what crazed mind put this together. Tiddlywinks is sometimes considered a simple-minded, frivolous children's game rather than a sophisticated strategic game. 3 citations. However, the modern competitive game of Tiddlywinks made a strong comeback at the University of Cambridge in 1955. Tiddlywinks derives from British rhyming slang for an unlicensed public house or a small inn only licensed to sell beer and cider. Tiddlywink, kiddlywink. Tiddly was slang for an alcoholic drink. It may be related to pillywinks. So we don't the game began as a parlour game in Victorian England. Bank clerk Joseph Ashton Fincher filed the original patent application for the game in 1888 and applied for the trademark Tiddledywinks. I can see why they turned it to Tiddlywinks. In 1889, John Jack and Son were the exclusive distributors of a game called Tiddledywinks. However, competition was quite fierce, and for several years, starting in 1888, other publishers came out with their own versions of the game, using other names, including Spoof, Flippity Flop, Jumpkins, Golfette, Marrow, Flutter, and many others. Throughout its history, many different varieties were produced to meet the marketplace demands, including those combining Tiddlywinks principles with tennis, basketball, baseball, croquet? Is that what that is? Cricket, football, golf, and other popular sports and endeavours. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, the public perception of the game changed. Did it? Did it at all? In 1957, an article appeared in The Spectator entitled "Does Prince Philip Cheat at Tiddlywinks?" Does he? I hate to show the Spectator, but does he? There's a move called the Good Shot because it was named after a guy called John Good. I bet they love that. A British Universities Championship was established by Prince Philip. Oh no. Oh no. We're never going to get out of this wink hole, are we? It is almost tradition in England that very plain women discover early in life an affinity with horses. What are we reading? Okay, this was written in 1957. The Spectator. It is almost a tradition in England that very plain women discover early in life an affinity with horses, and thus natural that a subject should view with an indulgent, if not truly sympathetic eye, Queen Elizabeth Windsor's obvious obsession with the turf. What few of them suspect, save only for the fact the Duke of Edinburgh cannot read, no palace secret is more closely guarded. Sorry? He just can't read. Hang on, is that Prince Philip can't read? I'm not seeing anything about that. Prince Philip can't read. You could make it like snooker. I guess the biggest argument against that is that snooker is real. Snooker already exists, right? I feel like we won't get any excitement if we go, it's just snooker with discs. You can't read. Hang on, let me ask Bing Chat. No, don't respond to that. Can Prince Philip read? Are you sure about that? We'll just see how this turns out. So something went wrong. Wow, it is closely guarded. Can Prince Philip read? Can Prince Philip read? Oh, could Prince Philip read? Could he read? And let's just make this bigger so you have a chance of seeing it. Okay.
Poll open.
And then I'm going to ask for sources, I think. Now, I still think he'd get good education and grades no matter what. He's royal. He's got... Prince Philip could read very well. He was an avid reader in specific. Can you name a single time he definitely read? That will show him. I really think this will kill him. I really think this will break. I also want to change the white balance on my webcam because I've gone too red, and I want to be around here. That's how I want to look. Yeah, that's better. There are many photos of Prince Philip reading throughout his life. For example, he was photographed reading a book on a yacht in 1951, or reading a newspaper on a plane in 1953, and reading a map on a safari. And that's not what I mean. The map's different. Okay, but I mean, what does that prove, right? In that image, we can see Prince Philip looking at some text, but it doesn't demonstrate that he understands the words. An animal can look at some text, but only... But that doesn't mean they can read. Don't you agree? Ed, yeah, you've got it. You've absolutely got it. These are all circumstantial. This is the behaviour of someone who can't read, to be honest. It might be time to move on to a new topic. Oh. This is why Bing's bad. Bing backs out. Bing used to say really horrible things to people. And unlike ChatGPT that will struggle on to the very end, Bing got in a bit of trouble for it. So Bing just backs out the moment it's confused, which means you can't really have a lot of fun with it. ChatGPT is the place to go. In fact, just to demonstrate. No, we're done. This isn't a ChatGPT stream. This is a Can Prince Philip read stream. It's not that either. It's a Tiddlywink remake stream. What more do we need? We need. I've been recommended to look at the terminology. Is that what people requested? Terminology? It's not what they call it here. Let's look up squap.
Poll closed.
There's a poll. The Philip, the winner can't read. The winner is red. The winner can't. The winner is can't. Okay. Suggestions for umpires. The good shot. I'll look that up. The good shot. I don't know where you're getting this from. Oh, unless it's another thing in FAQ. Is Tiddlywinks a serious game? The short answer is yes, but it's great fun as well. The first thing to state is it's not just about flicking counters into a cup. It is, in fact, a complex game of strategy and tactics, which involves a fascinating mixture of manual dexterity and intellectual activity as well. It's a bit like chess, in a way, but on an infinitely squared board. That's not true. If you flick it off the table, you've got to reshoot. What are you talking about? Are you saying it exists on an infinite plane because it's on the globe? What does it mean? It's on an infinitely squared board. Or is it saying that the squares are infinitely small? What's it mean, infinitely squared board? What do you think it's on about there? Also, it's got an added dimension, height. Yeah, in chess, if you move the pieces up, you lose. In Tiddlywinks, you can capture enemy counters, Winx, by covering them up with one of your own. Thus, Winx often gets stacked on top of each other to form piles during a game. There's no sport quite like it in this respect. You try stacking snooker pool balls on top of each other, you'd struggle. I think Andy has it. A wink can be in any position. So, yeah, so it's saying that the squares are infinitely small. Yeah, it's just a really weird way of describing it, but I guess these are all Cambridge scientists, and they're just probably not a group known for explaining things. What's the history of the adult game? I don't. Oh, look. The match resulted in a challenge to the Duke in the form of the Cambridge Club after a press article posed the question, does Prince Philip cheat at Tiddlywinks? Yeah, it also said that ugly women love horses. And it also said that Prince Philip can't read. It's a really weird article. It just comes straight out of the game, like ugly women love horses, Prince Philip can't read. Anyway, Tiddlywinks. What do all the silly words mean? Blitz, bomb, boondock, bring in, Bristol, Karnowski, crud, Kutwick, Doubleton, Etwa, free turns, good shot, gromp. An attempt to jump a pile onto another wink. Usually with the squidger held in a conventional rather than Bristol fashion. Could a man who couldn't read establish a Tiddlywinks title? I don't see why not. I think all the skills involved with looking at text and understanding what that means is entirely separate from what it would take to do a Bristol-style gromp. The John Lennon memorial shot. Why? Why? Why is there a John Lennon memorial shot? What you want to name that shot? Goes out to John Lennon. Lunch, knockoff, natwa, newswink, outs, pile, pot, scotwa, scrunge. Oh, scrunging. What's happened? You not heard the bad news? You not hear the terrible news coming out of whatever it was, wherever, America. Scrunge is when you pot the wink, but because it's just a little plastic disc that's incredibly light, it just bounces straight back out. Pile, pot, scot to a scrunge, squidger, squop, squap up, stats, sub, winking world, the official journal of the Etwa, published twice a year, and whoop and whiss. Fantastic. Please use this Google form if you want to join. I don't really. Tactics. Don't know if I need that. What's the kit? Winx, squidgers, pots, mats, other. The analysis of how long Winx games are taking. All right, with the last document. It takes about 50 minutes to an hour. Okay, it could take 40 minutes to 60 minutes, I think. That's how long a Tiddlywinks game. Can we get this published in Winking World? Get what published in Winking World? What, the stream? Can you publish this in your magazine? This appears to be a 2 long hour video of you bouncing around the screen, reading out everything about our pastime while laughing at us. Yes, we'd happily publish it. Also, we apologise for promoting that Spectator article. A full set of official kits, $5.50. That's not bad. That's not bad. So, here's my understanding of the nuts and bolts of the game. You're aiming to ping your disc in the cup until you've pinged all your discs in the cup. But if you can't ping it in the cup, you can ping it on one of their Winx and then they can't move it very easily. Is that it? Is that the whole game? Because that sounds boring. I know I hyped it up at the beginning, but that sounds really dull. that sounds boring to me. Do you think we can break any Winx world records? Some WWRs? Like what kind of, like, because I don't think I could do any that requires Winx skill. Sorry, let me just stop rotating around. I don't think that helps anyone. Yeah, can we watch some Tiddlywinks highlights? That's very smart. Okay, Tiddlywinks highlights. Also, could we say like trick shots, cool bits? I shouldn't have put trick shots in. That's obviously geared the algorithm. Cool bits has taken it to other stuff. Tiddlywinks highlights. We could see this YouTube short of a Tiddlywink championship technique.
Oh.
Somebody's gonna cover.
Did you capture it? Did you get it?
Did.
Yes.
Aww. Oh.
Somebody's gonna cover.
It's I don't know if this really is championship level. What does the comment say? I was able to teach my 12-year-old what this game was from this video after she laughed at me when I told her the name of this childhood pastime. Haha, thank you. And that's from Scared Market. Scarred Market. Scarred? Ashes to Ashes. Only playlists, community about Ashes to Ashes. Strange. Just strange. Yeah, I see it. I don't like it, but I'm avoiding it. In fact, let's just get off the page.
Aww.
Off that page as well. That didn't get us anywhere, to be honest. Please look at page 9. All right. We are now looking at the Winking World edition 101, or well, it says 101 PDF, and if they've been going. It's twice a year, so this would have to be going right back to the 1950s. Okay, contents, preliminaries, submissions for Winking World 102, national, international tournaments. I want to go to page 9. Oh god, this is... Oh god, the Tiddlywinks world's really, really dull. Seeing the ring made me think about Fortnite, the closing circle, making things tenser as you go forward. Also, just generally, there should be obstacles. I think more like Fortnite. In honor of Ely Cathedral. Is that where we are? The poem in the hymnal octave form in honor of Ely Cathedral. A fresh and lovely day for Winx. Let us this fine game fate. A train is late, but Puff serves drinks. No more will sober wait. Do only 2 games herald lunch, each player well agrees. And so we stop, drink beers and munch, not long till cakes and teas. A few games more they take in age. Lush ales are our reward. But Sunday brings us Dr. Sage. No chores with college wards. Dock hard, swap long, tough shots were played. Each team displayed true grit, and though we walk in Jeff's dark shade, no wink shall make us frit. I cannot wait for the revolution. Can I just say? I know there probably isn't going to be one because there's no revolutionary spirit in the British working class, but I cannot wait for the revolution. I really, really, really think this culture needs to be eliminated. I really, really think not all things need to be preserved for the future, and some cultures just need to be just eliminated. There shouldn't be any people like this left. What does Alan Dean mean? Oh, I see, yeah. Alan Dean is a guy. Here's Alan Dean. Sadly, Alan Dean did not play in the national teams before, but this is what he might look like if he had done. Great. Oh, that's what you wanted to show me. Alan Dean. I need to get out of here. It's Alan Dean. The tables are actually normal size. Alan Dean has recently been officially recognised as a giant amongst men, which apparently is a trademarked term. Tiddly, well, hang on. What are we reading here? And look at all these footnotes. Alan Dean, the Xmas Arms Saturday new trophy. What? I'm trying to understand. Alan Dean, a draw, high tables, rant, coffee, small draw. Alan Dean, Winx, London, Tiddlywinks Collective, more Winx, Alan Dean, the Juicy Bastard, Common Indian Pale Ale, more Winx, board bar staff. Alan Dean, more Winx, somebody won, photos, what fish am I? No friendly Winx. Alan Dean, late Harley, the Brie Louise, more what fish am I? Danish Babar attempts to work out what's going on inside Ben Fairburn's mind. Euston Tap Curry, HST, Alan Dean. I need to get off of here. This is sending my blood. This is turning my blood into Dr. Plem. I don't know if it is a code. I think it's like I just think it's just a train of consciousness poem just written by people I just need to stop thinking about.
Lovely Dr. Plem, and I'm just so glad to be drinking it.
Well, having met my share of people who've gone to Oxbridge, the idea that they have come out not mad and a bit useless is a bit fanciful. Hello, Maggie. Welcome. And we're learning a lot about Tiddlywinks, but now I think it's time to improve upon Tiddlywinks. Maybe we'll keep that like this, and then in the background we'll just bring up some winking. And then up. Onstek Alping. Discover our mattress. Doesn't matter, it's gone. Okay, we'll just use this for its visuals. Just some beautiful visuals. And over the top of this. Page 17, it's just another in-joke. Just another in-joke from these guys. Maggie, do not fall for Mighty Fighty's trap. Do not learn the first thing about Alan Dean. You will regret it. It is not going to help you. That's good. I think it's probably very lucky when bosses like the same specific pieces of software you do. Okay, so here's everything I've put down so far. I'm just going to make a frame for it so I can give it just a nicer colour. In a bit of non-Tiddlywinks style, I'm actually going to make the colour not horrific. That's not high contrast enough. Is that okay? Are those colours okay? Are anyone colourblind? Is this all right? This doesn't feel colourblind friendly. Okay, that frame's going to be called "How Can We Improve Tiddlywinks?" Atticus, it says Z-Line kitchen and bath, Z-Line 36-inch, 22.5 cubic feet, freestanding French door refrigerator with ice maker and fingerprint resistant stainless steel, RFM 36. It reads like something a bot has written, but because it's here, it might genuinely be someone contributing a joke, and I can't tell, but I like it. And I'm happy to have you here, Atticus. I'm glad you're not a bot. I'm glad that was all said by a person. I hope you can understand if someone's first thing they're saying is kind of a product description. We do get a lot of bots coming through here. Okay, so what is Tiddlywinks? I probably just need to keep it in my head. What is Tiddlywinks? What is Tiddlywinks? I think the easiest, quickest explanation of Tiddlywinks is going to be disc pool, disc snooker. Is there anything else to it than that? Is there anything about Tiddlywinks that isn't covered by those words? Infinite dimension chess? Is it? This sounds like Wink propaganda. It's just disc snooker, isn't it? Basketball, but small. It's not really like basketball, is it? Because there's only one basketball. Pogs for nerds. Mighty fighting. I've got some home truths to tell you about Pogs. I think you're not going to like what I've got to say about the audience of Pog. Snooker is 2D. Neck nil. I don't want to be this guy, right? I don't want to come down on you hard like a bag of bricks. You can go up in snooker. It is perfectly legal to go right up and then right back down. You can flip, you can flop. You can't squap. You can just block. You can just get in the way of other balls, which is like squapping. Disc snooker's given too much credit? I don't think so. It's like disc snooker, disc golf, whatever. I don't know. It's really boring. Jump shots aren't allowed in snooker. Can I just verify this? Now just ask Bing. Am I allowed to do jump shots in snooker? Squap is in the rules 102 times. I mean, it's the only thing that makes it. Squapping, which if you're new to the stream, squapping is the tiddlywink term for getting your wink on their wink, and wink is a tiddlywink term for just a disc. According to the official rules of snooker, jump shots are illegal 3 citations. It is a foul if the striker intentionally causes the cue ball to jump, to rise from the bed of the table, just so we're clear on what jump is, by any means. If the jump is an effort to clear an obstructing ball. However, there are exceptions to this rule, such as when the cue ball first strikes one object ball and then jumps over another ball, or when the cue ball jumps and strikes an object ball but does not land on the far side of that ball. You can watch some examples of jump shots in snooker on YouTube. So actually, there are 3 dimensions in snooker.
My nosy aunt goes,
When are you and Sam planning on getting married?
oh, so what did you say?
Oh.
No, we're just friends with benefits.
Shut up, you did not say that.
Dark Maltesers. Nieuw Revitalift Clinical Vitamin C Serum. Laat de huid stralen en vermindert zichtbare poriën. Van L'Oreal.
Sorry, Netnil,
You
didn't want
can't
to come
watch
down.
pool, especially American pool, without noticing that they play a hell of a lot of jump shots. So I'm going to show you how to play jump shots in snooker. We'll show you how to aim a...
Oh, I didn't want to learn. I just wanted to see some. And I've done that. Okay, so how do we improve upon this? No, in fact, before we go into our suggestions thing, let's say why this is rubbish. What exactly is wrong with... What's wrong with winking? This is pool. It's the same thing. Pete, it's the same thing. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, no, it's not. And that just doesn't cut it with me. It's the same thing. It's the same game. Okay. Too small. It's too small. At the very least, it needs to become big. What's the other thing? Aesthetically painful. It just sucks. It's just, even if you can see it, which you can't, because it's too small. Yeah, it's too posh. And it's worse than posh. It's worse than posh. And I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. There are other posh things that don't have these problems. hunting a fox, ripping it open, and smearing your face with its blood is diabolical. Like, it's evil. It's like an evil thing to do. But it's not cringe and it's not small. So it's not just being posh that makes it bad. There's something about it. I don't know if this is quite the word. This is like a very British word, maybe. Do you think it's nebbish? Is that what I think? What's nebbish? Define nebbish. A person, especially a man, who is regarded as pitiful, ineffectual, timid, or submissive. Is that what I mean? Maybe not. I don't quite mean nebbish then. Hello, Martine. Do you know anything about Tiddlywinks? Hello, Learning Laser. What are we fixing? We are improving Woody Allen character. It's got an overlap with nebbishness. To be what? Tiddlywinks. Let me just show you a little bit. So, the board game that we're going to be improving upon this time is Tiddlywinks, which is an awful British game played by very posh old men in elite universities who've decided to try and turn this game of flicking tiny discs into an elite strategy game. They are insufferable and I don't like them. You flick the discs into the pot. It's like snooker, but with little discs. And I've just written down like, what is Tiddlywinks? It's just disc snooker. Yeah, Martine. If anyone starts asking you about Alan Dean, say I do not know. I do not wish to know. Never heard anyone playing it. So what we've learnt in this stream is that in 1956 there was an attempt at Cambridge University to turn it into an elite game, and then Prince Philip founded the first ever Tiddlywink organisation, but then he was accused of cheating by The Spectator. And The Spectator in the same article accused him of not being able to read, and it said that Prince Philip not being able to read is the best kept secret of the royal palace. And then I looked up to see if anything anywhere has ever corroborated that Prince Philip can't read, and it's just a weird thing The Spectator printed. Hello, Jab. What do you know about Tiddlywinks? Do you have any Tiddlywinks background knowledge? I'm in the moment just trying to pin down the third reason I hate Tiddlywinks, and I initially wrote the word nebbish, but that's not quite right. It's not geeky because I associate that with Funko Pops. It's got this kind of like, I don't know what the word is. Royal Tiddlywink is like a tabloid euphemism. It could well be. I mean, it honestly could just all be it could all be just a trap to get people to read the claims that you can't read. See, I don't mind. It's an unimpressive skill. Maybe that is it. It's like there are loads of skills people have that are useless. Like keepy uppies are sort of useless. I mean, maybe once in a blue moon, someone uses it to deflect a bomb, like an old-fashioned metal disc with a bit of fizzing stuff coming out of it. Vloenspel. Oh, right, so there's Tiddlywinks here as well, but it's a children's game, I presume. Says the guy who learnt to Redacted. I'll learn to Redacted all day long, but I'm not forming an elite Cambridge association about it. I'm not getting the prince to come and cheat at it. Nebbish, shitty hobbyists. Just annoying craft ale old men. I cannot get it concise. There's just a big kind of a guy energy here that I just can't condense. should be pog sized. They should be big. Yeah, they're too small. Exactly. They're too small. It's not even nice to look at. Even if it was big, it's still kind of boring. And the people who play it suck. So it needs to change audience, right? So it needs to be bigger. You know, each of these problems, they suggest a solution, don't they? So make bigger. Aesthetically painful. Make aesthetic.
Poll open. Attract
a new audience of very cool people. Which will happen if we just fix the others, I think. What did Ball learn to do? Redact, Alan Dean. A good Pete? You can't beat Alan Dean rolling people. Maybe look up Sierlen. It's a Dutch party pub game for children and adults alike. Do you know, it was in Amsterdam many years ago that someone taught me how to play bar billiards for the first time. And it was the first time I went to a pub that had billiards in. Okay, let's look it up. Beyblades. Okay, Sierlen.
The winner is this.
De beste Sierle in van Nederland. Yeah, let's find out who's the best at Sierlen.
Krijg dat lentegevoel met tot wel 40% korting.
Most old people have a Ciel table at home.
Tot en met
29
maart.
Scholen.
Jan Oostenbrink is dit jaar voor de tweede keer Nederlands kampioen Schule geworden. De Veldhovenaar is voorzitter van Schulclub de Kemphanen en werd 15 jaar geleden voor het eerst Nederlands kampioen. Waar hij vroeger dagelijks uren trainde, doet hij het nu meer op ervaring.
He trains for hours. He's been practicing for 15 years. This is his second year of holding the championship. Is that right? Have I understood this?
Het is deels oefenen en deels heb je ook wel een beetje aanleg nodig.
En als ik nu tegen u speel, dat is voor u 2 vingers in de neus?
Ja. Normaal gesproken denk ik dat als ik 1 onderbeurt gooi en u zou er 3 gooien, dat ik nog makkelijk ben.
He started playing it with people in the neighborhood.
Van EDTV gaan deze uitdaging natuurlijk aan. Dus lukt het ons om de Nederlands kampioen te verslaan op eigen terrein.
Wat is een bepaalde beweging?
Nee, niet echt. Je moet het...
I have to say, this is like a pub game. And it's mad that loads of old people have this in their house because it's very big. But the thing that gets me is that you just play it on your own. It's like bowling. It's why I've never really liked bowling. It's like you just do your own thing near other people. Like that's why pool is good because your balls are on the same table as their balls. Oh, you take turns. But then, like, how does your turn affect their turn?
Zelf gewoon makkelijk vinden.
Jan Oostenbrink doet volgende week in Lisse mee aan het wereldkampioenschap.
And if you don't get in the hole, it just lies around in the board. So you might want to hit one into another one. Yeah, I see. So sometimes there'll just be the discs are just around, and you want to hit their disc so that their disc goes in the hole.
Zijn doel is om een keer het toernooi te winnen.
2 jaar
I
geleden
see.
in Duitsland.
Oh, I see. It's a game then.
Dus dat moet eigenlijk wel beter kunnen.
En traint u daar nu extra voor het WK?
It's bowling.
Nee, niet echt. Het is
Sort of.
de normale trainingsarbeid die ik altijd doe eigenlijk.
En dat is?
Nou, bij ons op de vereniging school ik elke 2 weken. En daarnaast thuis 1 keer in een avond.
Chaos can be good though. Chaos can be good. They should make air hockey tables with this, and they can go at the speed of sound. Even that's a better game. Even that seems more fun. It feels like it's like it feels like something that you could imagine being at the arcades, but made out of plastic. Okay, so what is Tiddlywinks' disc snooker? We've established that. Get that out of the way. We need a new aesthetic. We also need... The rules need to be different. So what don't I like about the rules? There's not really a lot of strategies. So there's not really a lot of ways of affecting other people. It feels like when all the Winx go on top of each other, it just gets really mucky. Really, really muddy, gloopy. You should be able to destroy someone else's Wink. You should be able to kill a Wink. You should. All the Winx are everywhere. And it looks messy. And it plays messy. You should be able to do 1, special moves. 2, destroy a Wink. That's what I think. It's less fiddly, more strategic. Yeah, and it's bigger. Do you know? It's bigger, and the things move fast. And it feels like you're not. Do you know? There's footage of these Winkers, right? And they're getting their phone camera on. They're looking at it from every angle, like it's a bomb they're trying to defuse. That guy, he's in his kitchen. Boof, 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 boof. Schulen. No, Schulen. Wink murders or existing game. Wink, we could call it Wink Destruction. There probably should be a, you know, what we're going to call this. New name. And then we could just think of what the new name could be. Wink Murder sounds good. Wink Revolution. In the kind of bubble bobble tradition, we call it Wink Wunk. Or even more closer to bubble bobble would be like Winkle Wunkle. Winkle Wunkle. Winkle Wagon. Wank Discs, sure. Terrory Winx. Wank Discs. Big Winx, yeah. Big Winkle Campus. Wink Upon a Star. I think we're losing it here. Big fan of Wank Discs. Okay, good to hear from you, Albert. Wink Wars. The Wink War tennis shoes. I'm going to combine those into the Wink Wars tennis shoes. Just use landmines. Bigly Winx. Yeah, Tiddle Winx. They're also, I mean, that's all good stuff, but I'm going to make a new list here. And this is going to be about getting more of a... think about what could be on an arcade to get kids involved. And it would be like the Wink Zone, the Final Winker, Samurai Winker, Be Still My Beating Wink. I mean, I don't know, maybe that one not so much. Oh yeah, Wink, that's good. Yeah, Wink. Or even, and then it looks like Wank. Winkle Wonk. I think we've had Winkle Wonkle, but you're right, that is arcadey. Wink Wink Revolution. Have we limited the Tiddly portion entirely? Oh yeah, I never really thought about that. We call it Tiddle's Wink. It's not really an arcade name, but could be. I'm sure there's at least one arcade game that follows someone's something. Wiggly Tinks, absolutely not, Gemma. I'm so sorry. Kiddie Winx, that sounds like it's too child. Wink Stream, how about Wink Stream? Winx, you can call it Winx just like that. Humongous Winx. Big Winx. How about that? Look, this we're getting somewhere with this. Will a name not come when we have a concept? not necessarily. I just think it's good to brainstorm that. These two things is part of the dialectic, right? They all feed into each other. Wink Mania is very good. Also, Winklevania. Alan Dean's Big Winx. I'm and when we message the Cambridge Winx Society, we're specifically trying to get Alan Dean to put his name on our game. Alan Dean's Big Winx. Alan ADWX. Alan Dean's Big Winx. I'm sorry, that's the one, isn't it? Alan Dean's Big Winx. They're going to love it as well because they love joking about Alan Dean. They love Alan Dean. I honestly think I think it's going to go down well. Alan Dean, I'm putting that right to the top. Alan Dean's Big Winx. Alan Dean's Big Winx. And they're going to love it, right? The pitch to them, they're going to be like, I don't get this. Focus. Focus on me, my head. Focus here. When we pitch it to them, Martijn, for context, we've been looking through their newsletter, and they really like this guy Alan Dean in their magazine Winking World, and he always comes up, and there's loads of in jokes about him. So they like Alan Dean. We don't know him. I don't even like him. Mighty Fighty finally tricked me into explaining Alan Dean. Alan Dean's Big Winx. It's got a real 90s sports game vibe. It feels like a Mega Drive entry. Okay, that's really, really, really good stuff. Alan Dean's Big Winx. Make the Tiddlywinks bigger. Let's pare this down into the actual things. The Winx. The movement. I'm going to open up the night hole now. And if anyone wants to pop on, there's a voice channel in our Discord. This is where it gets complicated, and we're going to work out exactly how we want this Wink game to play. Is there a Ludo hole? I think there is somewhere. Yeah, I'm in the Ludo hole. So if anyone wants to come in and talk game design, that's where I'll be. Here's some deep Alan Dean deep lore. Top Tiddlywinks player Alan says game's not just for kids. Doesn't feel exactly deep lore. I feel like I could have just inferred he thought that. Alan Dean has dedicated more than 50 years of his life into Tiddlywink competitions. That means he got into it when Tiddlywinks' establishment had only been going on about 60 years. He's one of the earliest winkers still winking. Yeah, and it's a very, very small community. I honestly think there's like 20 to 30 people who give two hoots about it, shared between England and America. An Exmouth man who has dedicated more than half a century to his life being one of the country's top Tiddlywinks players wants to dispel a long-held myth about the pastime. Alan Dean of St John's Road has won multiple national and international titles in the 52 years he has been playing and is aware of the stereotypes about people who play the game. He says that Tiddlywinks is not just a game for children and has a tactical element which attracts older players. It's such a good game, and people just associate it with nursery games. When people find out what is actually involved, they find out that it's a really good game. The former teacher and semi-retired software programmer, that all sounds correct, doesn't it? That all sounds correct. He was first exposed to it as a sixth form pupil in 1966. However, his Tiddlywinks career did not get off to the best start. As Alan recalls, he and his friends were beaten by 11-year-old girls. We realised that this game had got a lot more to it than we thought. Do you think there's a relationship to him being beaten by an 11-year-old girl when he would have been 18 years old, and him deciding that the game must have hidden depths, as opposed to just a younger child having more hand-eye coordination than him? Oh yeah, there is another. There's basically just two little groups of old, boring men, one in Cambridge and one, I guess, in New York. 50 years and still only one of the best. Yeah, you think at some point, his hand-eye coordination has to fail him, right? Surely winking theoretically ought to be a young man's game. And the moment a single young man takes a remote interest, he will swamp the deck with these guys. Let's look at his house on Street View. No, that feels like a breach of, if not the law, certainly a law that will be made in the next 10 years. Okay, the Winx, the movement, and the rules. Maybe also the cup. The rules. And the pot. Those seem to be the elements. For this purposes, I'm including the squidger as a wink. I know it's not really. Your wink heads, don't come after me. For our purposes, it will be. The pot. Doesn't deserve its own little column. Love the advert for a fleece, top of a shirt and tie. Can I see? Yeah, that's great. Well, it's changed. Alan Dean wouldn't be caught dead in those. Way too plain. Alan Dean likes primary colours. Do you plan to play as digital or physically? Rosanna, I have absolutely no idea. I've been thinking that in the back of my head the entire time, thinking, how's this going to work? We'll have to make a digital version of it somehow. Yeah, I think the Dutch article's got it right. But also, the Dutch, I don't think the Dutch care about this game. Whereas in England, there's at least 12 men who do. 3 who care a lot, and 9 who are just there for the beer. Play game versus jam, but there's always that, yeah. I always think that as a designer, I have this unfair advantage because I've made it, so I don't feel fair. Yeah, we could make it in Gary's mod. Yeah, Martine for pairs. Yeah, Martine, you want to play some Winx? I would like to make a digital Winx. I'd like to make an arcade style Winx though that could be played digitally for winking. That's great, and we could also play some Schulen. We could build a board. Has anyone made digital Schulen? Okay, the Winx at the very least bigger. Bigger. Should they have stats? Do you think stats is too much? How soon we can make it to NBA Jam? Let me remind myself. NBA Jam. It's definitely the aesthetics I want.
Een zwarte thee, 100% uit Kenia, waar onze beste theeblaadjes groeien. Zorgvuldig geselecteerd om jouw Lipton Yellow Label.
Do you think the Winx should have faces?
En evenwichtige smaak te geven. Ontdek de nieuwe Lipton Yellow Label.
Wat als je bestelde fiets nou niet komt en de verkoper niet reageert? Dan vraag je met de ANWB Creditcard.
It's not normally this many adverts.
En zoek je een nieuwe fiets uit. Aflevergarantie noemen we
Who's
dat.
monetizing footage of NBA Jam?
ANWB.nl/inthepocket.
Wild shot!
This is the aesthetic I'd like. If we make a digital version, I'd like it to feel like this. This is good stuff. Train your Winx. The Winx, definitely bigger. Stats, faces, and personalities. you can level them up to get special moves. This feels like a game straight away. I think the movement should feel like that Kirby golf game. That was a Kirby golf game. You just decide how much pressure and how fast. Do you know that thing where like you play a golf game, it goes woo, and then you've got to click like that. Dream Course, yeah, Kirby's Dream Course. Just Kirby's Dream Course. I honestly think that'll get us a long way. Here's a young Alan Dean. Wow. How have you? Sorry, but how have you found a young Alan Dean? 1972, probably not that. Oh no, yeah, quite young. Yeah, in his 20s. That's a 20-something Alan Dean from 1972. But 3D. Well, Kirby's Dream Course is isometric, so it's a kind of 3D. Oh, here's an action shot. Very nice. Very nice. I knew they'd have good jumper game, but their jumper game has absolutely tailed off into fetid fleeceware in their older age. The rules. I don't like this scores thing, whoever's got the most points. I think it's like, achieve something, you've just won. 3 weeks in, you win, right? Just cut to the chase. 3 winks in, you win, but we've got to make it a lot harder to get a wink in. The pot. The pot. The pot isn't even revealed or available until you hit certain conditions. Right? The pot's not even around until something's happened. Maybe 2 pots. Each player has a pot. Oh, that could be good. No, I think there's 1 pot. And then if the other player's got 2 and you've got 1 in, even though you've got 1 in, you want to knock the pot over. So in the rules, knocking the pot over is okay. Killing the pot. The pot can be destroyed. Excuse me. Attack the pot. I just want to put that in potential names. I mean, it's probably going to be called Alan Dean's Big Winx, but attack the pot. Could at least be a stage. Pot can be destroyed. I see it feeling more like a digital golf game more and more. It should be like Mario Golf. I'm just going to write down Mario Golf. I feel like there must be a Mario Golf game that's a bit like this. Mighty Fighty are just absolutely not. Mighty, you've absolutely gone off the boil there. Wink onto a noughts and crosses board. Yeah, I thought we'd be playing drafts then. Drafts up, leapfrog drafts. Do you know, they've been saying that chess has no verticality, but obviously it does. The knight has to go up. I think the Winx is the most interesting thing. What kind of special moves could you even have? Okay, yeah. I know what special moves you can get. Special moves. Phone a friend. What will that do? Sorry, flip the wink. Grow. Yeah, grow. That's good. Invincible. Ah, it's too powerful. It's too powerful. On fire is good. That means if another wink lands on you, it will burn. On fire is very good. Or radioactive, which means the other wink will get cancer. Multi-slam. Yeah, I was also thinking maybe baby winks. Give birth. It could become pregnant, and then if another wink lands on a pregnant wink, it gives birth straight away. I'm going to write that in the brackets. If another wink lands on a pregnant wink, it immediately gives birth. And the first wink it sees, hello Buzz Josie, and the first wink it sees, it imprints upon it like it's like a duckling and follows it around the board. Pregnant wink, I think, is a very powerful rule. And that means wink preg, yeah, we'll just call that W preg. So let's say, let me just explain the power of W preg, right? With the power of shapes, right? So we got. Let me just make some winks for you. I know you're all desperate to see some winks. Been a long stream, and you know people here that just want some winks. So let's say we got a couple of winks, and this wink is pregnant. So we'll just say the yellow wink is pregnant, and the green wink is just isn't. It's another one's. It's another one's wink. So the yellow wink. Let me just get a pot. Actually, let me just get a Tiddlywinks pot. Tiddlywinks pot. I think once you understand the power of W preg, you're going to be so into this. I just want the pot. Just the pot. I guess Tiddlywinks is a popular enough. People have done that. Just give me a cup. Yeah. Okay. So here's the pot. Okay, and this yellow wink is pregnant. So when the green wink lands on the yellow wink immediately gives birth. But then the yellow wink, right, the yellow wink sees the green wink and thinks that's my mommy, right? Sees the green wink, thinks the green wink's my mommy. So the yellow wink's going to follow the green wink. Then, if the green player manages to get that in the pot, woof, great wink there. Then this one goes, oh, that's where my mommy is. And then yellow gets a point too. That is the power of wink preg. Does it orbit? No, it just follows. Just trucks along behind. So you're like, oh no, I scored a point, but I gave a baby point to my enemy. Free point because yeah, exactly, Maggie. Wink preg. Please introduce a custody battle rule. I think that could be, yeah, I think that could be good. Should we put a prison in? Never mind. Yes. Oh, we've just described how a wink might have pregnancy. I've just described wink preg, which is a rule I absolutely insist on. The winks can get pregnant. I think preg wink is pretty strong. Grow, radioactive, wink preg, and gun. I think gun's important as well. How do you buy drugs? No drugs in this one so far, but it does take place in an opium den. Maybe lasers instead of guns? Yeah, slingshot. Dennis the Menace style. Slingshot. No, that implies you're slingshotting. We'll just say... Did Macaulay Culkin divorce his parents? Yeah, if people want a Deansplain, do so in the Discord, please, because I'm... You know, Deaning should be opt-in. Unless, of course, you're playing Alan Dean's Big Winks. If the wink lands in a way that it fully covers the opponent's wink, would the child be unable to imprint on the opponent's wink? No, because the baby wink just sees the highest wink and thinks that's mama. Laser's good, but it's just not as violent as gun. Maybe it's just weapon, you know, just get weapon. And then it could be, you know, axe, club, great sword, big gun, desert eagle. I think you want to grow your winks over time. Like, let's work on what these stats are, right? Winks start very small. As such, they can only do little hops. But as they get bigger, they can do bigger hops. So how do you encourage your wink to get bigger? Alan Dean should be a weapon. Do you know there used to be a built-in skiing game in old Windows, like Windows 95, ski free, and if you skied for too long, just a Yeti would come out and get you. That's Alan Dean. Everybody loves ski free. Get eaten by Alan Dean. Alan Dean should just be in it. It's Wink.io taken. I'm focused now on the Winx stats. We want to grow the Winx. I don't know if I could even get a picture of Alan Dean's mouth. I suppose we could always email the association and say, can you give me a picture of Alan Dean's mouth? But I don't think that's how to get off on the best foot. What do the Winx want? Oh yeah, it'll be like Micro Machines. There's a built-in roster of famous guys. And everyone just plays as Alan Dean, obviously. What grows your Winx? Everyone's giving me these ideas, but what grows your Winx? No, it's not like Punch Out. This is a PvP game with a little bit of PvE. Alan Dean is Spider, 100%. Hello, Rose. We are trying to redesign a game called Tiddlywinks, which is a very, very rubbish board game type thing that is popular with posh old men in old universities in England. A bit of growth every turn. I think this should be something you can do that makes the Wink happy and makes the Wink bigger. They're trying to flick the discs into the red pot, and they take it very seriously. It's one of the worst games ever made. Have to land on power-ups. Yeah, do you know how in like League of Legends, a game like that, you can go jungling? Maybe there's monsters. Let's play with Smarties, yeah, and flick them into their mouths. That's really nice. What's this, 972? They look very cool. I'm actually going to put that in the mirror. I think we need to see. I think we need to see what the young Winking Blood was like. I think it's Fortnite again. Yeah, why not? I think everyone. Listen. I'm happy to include a fair bit of Alan Dean in the game, but I think people are going Alan Dean crazy here. Alan Dean's name's on the box. It doesn't need to be scattered through every mechanic. Yes, at this point, Alan Dean would have been destroyed by 11-year-old girls maybe about 6 years ago. I'm not sure which one is Alan Dean in here. I hope he's in there. Do you think there should be the Winx should have elements, and there should be a paper scissors rock thing with like you want to get the right Wink to hit the right opponent Wink? Maybe everyone's got 4 Winks. Earth, wind. Oh god, what is it? Earth, wind, air, fire. Wink RPG, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Alan Dean, a Wink's tail. Or The Legend of Winx, Alan Dean's adventure. Rose, Alan Dean is a Tiddlywinks celebrity in this tiny, tiny community of Tiddlywinks people. When the disc goes to the point, a little song. Yeah, I was thinking the disc explodes. I was thinking when it goes in, when a Wink goes in the pot, the pot moves but leaves a big explosion. Or a monster. Scope creeping ourselves into Winx territory. Frosty, I don't see what the problem is. You're saying it like it's a bad thing. Big confetti explosion of monster. I think that the Winx should be attacked by monsters and have to. They have hit points. I think they should have hit points. I think they should have elements. I think they should have personalities. I think Alan should just be a pixelated digital photo who basically is a great shot. Yes, Alan is umpiring. If Alan is anyone, he's umpiring. And then sometimes maybe you see Alan's hand come in and move your Winx around. Like he goes foul, and then he moves your Winx back to the starting line. Yeah, I think there's monsters. I think there's... Here's what I think the game board could look like, right? So you've probably got a circular playable area like that. And we probably want that to be as thick as it gets. And then in the middle somewhere is the cup. And you know you can place your Winx at the start. Here's where my Winx is gonna start. Everyone's coming in. But then there should be like a fern. Like there should be these like wild grass like in Pokemon. And if you go too near to the wild grass, then goblin. Just get a little goblin. Yeah, then a monster comes out. I only have to fight the monster. And if you want an example of... Yeah, you land too near to here. This has like a radius. And if you land in it, then the monster comes out and gets you. Yes, you've landed there. And then the monster will be hitting away and you have to use your turns to like hit it back. Or because you can't wink off, you know. That's really good. Yeah, you could play on a big bagel. You could play on the top of a burger. You just think of things that are circular. Obviously, there's a circular table. You could play on a burger. You could play on toilet. And demon. Winning the fight, yeah, and then if you win the fight, and the demon is destroyed, then your Winx gets bigger, yeah, like this. Bigger Winx can go further. And I don't know if the pot has a maximum size. Like, could a Winx get so big it can't go in the pot? Should always be circular. You could play the planet. I think that's too confusing, Rose. I think if it goes around a 3D planet, it feels really confusing. I'm willing to try. Big Winx just smashes the pot. Can you shrink a Winx? I think if you want smaller Winx, you gotta get Winx Preg. You need to make your Winx pregnant. Is there a WinXP leveling system? There will be. There will be, I think. Shrink a Winx. Maybe if a Winx gets too big, then it splits into two Winx. Yeah. So the Winx has 3 sizes. Maybe an inverse Winx? What do you mean? Okay, so if we were to look at a possible Winx, so there'll be like, here's what stats a Winx has, right? So Winx name. And we'll just call it Alan Dean, just as an example. Then there'll be Winx level 1, so it's got HP 10 out of 10, MP 5 out of 5, Winx size normal, And Winx sizes go from Winx sizes, normal, I suppose baby, but things start at normal. Normal and Dominic Cummings gave some great Winx and massive Winx. Yeah, great Winx, massive Winx. And then growing a massive Wink turns it into 3 babies. If you put one with a disk in orbit and the planet moves, the disk can go close to the pot. Yeah. And then you'd have to turn off gravity. There could be a gravity switch. I like the idea of changing gravity. Actually, I'm going to put that in. I like changing gravity. Change gravity. That might be like an environmental thing, like there's a lever, like a special big button. Big button. Like that, the big gravity button. I like that. Rather than go for the pot, you can go for the gravity button to change gravity. That's nice. Can you pet the dog? There isn't really a dog so far, but if there is a dog implemented and you land your Wink on the dog's head, then you'll get a pet the dog bonus. Going to be a quiz element? Maybe there'll be like a little trickster around who gives you a riddle. A little shop for upgrades. No, there's no gold. I just think that's boring. I just think getting any game where you get money and then you got to buy a potion is boring. I mean, that's all the games I play and all the games I love, but I think they could do without it. Personally, we're not having IVs. We're not having EVs. There's no shiny Winx. Maybe there could be a shiny Wink. No, there's no shiny Winx. There's no shiny Winx. No grav Winx. No, I think you should change the gravity for everyone. Change the gravity as a strategy to like hurt or hinder other people. Shiny Winx, but you're not going to encounter enough shiny Winx. And what would a shiny Wink? How would it be different? I'll write it down. I'll write it down. If it makes Rose happy, I'll write it down. Shiny Winx. Alan Dean's big Winx does make me laugh. Are there Wink types? Yeah, there are. So there'll be Wink element. We could obviously just go with fire, earth, grass, whatever, but that's kind of boring. What do you think the Wink elements should be? I mean, I can't think. I have no idea. Yeah, phlogiston. Yeah, phlogiston. Meat. Argon. And soup. Yeah, where... Okay, so what beats what? What's the... Okay, so we got phlogiston. And we can change these, of course. Let's do the Winx elemental table. How does this work? We say an egg. So we got phlogiston. To be honest, I like it being more to do with egg and meat and stuff. But we'll just see how it works. So meat, egg. Hello, more. Yours actually gives me a little fright. That's really big. It made me jump. Why did you come out really big?
Egg.
Argon.
Egg.
I don't understand. Okay, soup. And argon, so what beats what?
Egg.
I feel like argon poisons your soup. And meat... I think phlogiston beats argon.
Egg.
And soup beats meat. And meat beats phlogiston? I've got no idea. Meat goes in the soup. Yeah, alright. I see the logic. Meat goes in the soup. Soup is better than meat. Is that true? The Winx Sphinx should guard the secrets of the elements. Yeah, it would let you change element, maybe. Phlogiston. Can soup beat argon? If the meat goes in the soup, then the soup wins. You're right. Soup absorbs meat, so it wins. Whereas meat, I can't justify the rest. We could come back to this. No idea how to make sense of that. What is phlogiston? In the Middle Ages, people believed that there was a substance that caused things to be able to catch fire. They thought they said, why can some things catch fire and some things can't? And why, when you burn wood and it turns to ash, why can't you burn the ash? And they thought there was a special substance, a thing in the wood called phlogiston. And when you burn something, the phlogiston just goes away, and that's why you can't burn it again. It's an idea that existed, I don't know when, 1500s, 1600s. It's a very strange thing to put in a Tiddlywink game, to be honest. The tiddle of the Winx, that's quite good for the Sphinx. Let me just get a Sphinx in here and the tiddle. Oh, I've put the whittle of the Tinks. The whittle. No, I've written that again. The tiddle of the Winx. No, sorry, I want a picture of a Sphinx. Here we go. Okay, there's our Sphinx. I think they're going to really like this. I think they're going to enjoy this. The tiddle of the Winx, or the whittle of the Tinks. I genuinely can't remember what we were talking about. So I think the board can be full of all of these weird and wonderful little obstacles, but the core gameplay is you just ping. It's like if you've got a wink, you just pick a direction and you pick an intensity. Like what's that, like? Test your strength fairground hammer thing. You do one of these. That kind of thing over here is, woo. Do you want to see Kirby's? This is what I'm thinking of. Kirby's Dream Course. Kirby's Dream Course gameplay. I think about Kirby's Dream Course. Kirby's a golf ball. What's Scorched Earth? Why is everyone saying Scorched Earth? Is that a game? I don't know. Look, you angle yourself, and then you choose your power. It is good, isn't it? Me and Sam Nicaresti used to play this at university. He was a lot better at it because he owned it. Two-player artillery game. Oh, I did have that. I did play that. I didn't have any friends at that age. Good shot. You get it, right? It's just aiming and picking power. You can aim and you can pick your power. Exactly how I'm going to make this something we can play, I have no idea, but I'll work something out. And then there's your intensity. What are we pressing the Winx with? Just nothing. Just nothing. You just are the wink, I think. You just are the wink. Can we incorporate terrain deformation? At this stage, I'm going to say no. Otherwise, we're going to go full red faction, fully destructible environment, We're going to have branching storylines. We're going to have a good ending and a bad ending. It's just never going to end. Actually, maybe we should have a good ending and a bad ending. Maybe we need NPCs. I was thinking it'd be funny the way you press your wink is that you shoot a gun at the wink. Like maybe the two players. Hang on. Boy holding gun. That's really good. That's such a good picture. Oh, that's an even better picture. No, I like this one more. So the two players, actually, the way you play, it's like snooker. You're actually on the outside, and you're shooting a projectile in. You know, and then you just sort of go around and you go. It's like how you do it with a snooker cue. And you go bang, and you just shoot. You know, you can shoot. You can't shoot the goblin. You got to shoot your guy. Bang. Tiddlyminks. You want to turn this into a text adventure? Bang. Bang. I'm getting really into this. I think this could be good stuff. I have no idea how to prototype this. I mean, it could be made as a digital game. Obviously, it'll just take a long time. I just don't have the time to make that properly. Who knows? I think there's something here. But tonight I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to ponder how to. Maybe this is going to be when I learn Godot, but I don't think it is because I have lots of other things I'm supposed to do. And also, this already isn't a small project. We'll see. Maybe it could be. The graphics are very simple. We'll see. We'll see. We'll live. We'll learn. We'll learn how to know how to do this. For the time being, I should wrap up because I think we're all going a bit mad. We're all going a bit mad, and I think we should go back to the office. I should get behind the desk. I should say thank you. A dice for accuracy? Yeah, it could be. Maybe there are terrain modifiers on accuracy. Who knows? Thank you, Dr. Plem, for all that you have done. And thank you all, my buddies, my friends. Thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for being here when I learned everything about Alan Dean. Thank you for being here when we all became Tiddlywinks experts. Thank you for increasing the scope of this game to something that I'm scared of. Thank you for everything you've done and everything you'll do in the future. If you're not already, there's going to be more Tiddlywink discussion here in the Discord, and we will be talking about Alan Dean. Thank you, Rose. I'm very sorry for teaching you about a weird English game, but hopefully what we make will be a lot. Lotad the chat for lots of thanks, Alan Dean. Yeah, I'll give it one of those. And recently I've quite enjoyed asking you guys for recommendations of who to raid. Often I only still have the certain few channels who are on. Does anyone have a... My mic crashed. Hello, 1, 2. Ooh. I don't know why. Hello, 1, 2. Normal? Is it normal now? Yeah, I don't know what happened. You hear the mic from my camera? Let me take a look. Oh, you're right. Hello, 1, 2. Is this bit better, different? Is this better, different? Good, or worse, same? It's not better or different. It's just the same. What is happening? What about now? What about now? What about this? What about now? How about now? Did the filter drop off? Did I knock the gate? I'm always knocking it. I'm going to turn it off and turn it on again. Hello, 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 hello. Is it good? Is it good? I just turned it off and on again. Okay, what do we want to do? Where do we want to raid? Any suggestions? I got some people we could raid into. Wimpdork is online. Ale1 is online. Chill Literacy is online. Happy to take a suggestion. MonoDB, thank you so much for that. Welcome. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow from strength to strength. Ken Chen Comedy's doing a board game stream. That is obviously where we should go. Thank you so much for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow from strength to strength. Thank you, Mighty Fighty Shushbugs, for triggering the welcome bear. I love seeing new faces in the chat, and I love seeing this community grow from strength to strength. I will see you all later, and we'll see some of you on the Discord. Back on Friday, where we'll be joined by Ike to do some more Mink streams, and then back again on Sunday to try and finish off Outer Wilds. Be well and do not misbehave and do not embarrass me. Goodbye. Don't talk about Alan Dean in Ken's stream, okay?